Hello, this is Marty Ettington. Today I'd like to talk about my own memories before my birth and going through birth, etc., which are all in my book, Memories Before Birth and Reincarnation. So the first thing I remember was that I was outside, like above the earth, and I was an entity, and I don't know, I was disembodied, and I talked to another entity that I felt like I needed to go back to Earth, that there was more I needed to do there. And then I broke a part of my consciousness off and started going down to the Earth. And I came down to look for parents. And I found one couple, this didn't seem quite right, and then another couple, no. And then a third couple that ended up being my parents in upstate New York. I was born in Corning, New York. And I went closer to my mother and was drawn inside. And I've since heard stories of other people who picked their parents. So anyway, then I remember being inside my mom, that it was comfortable at first, and then it got smaller and smaller, which meant I was getting bigger and bigger. And this was over a period of time. And I could hear things going on outside, and I of course felt movement when my mom went places, and it got really tight, and I also was choking on my cord, and I couldn't figure out what to do so I finally turned myself around with my feet, and it released the cord. But of course this made me feet down towards my mother's birth canal. Then I kicked again, and that broke everything, which meant my mother's water broke, and I started being born. And I have to tell you, going out and being born is a very painful experience. The squeezing is terrible. I came out and I was fairly quiet, but I thought I was breathing, but the doctor didn't think it was enough, and so he hit me on the butt, and of course that caused a big spasm, and I started crying, but I was choking too. And I have to tell you, the first breath is like breathing fire, and then you become used to it. So because I was still choking, the doctor put me in an iron lung for a couple of hours to relieve it, and pretty soon I felt okay. And then they took me home the next day or day after. And I remember that my grandparents were there, and they were passing me around between them, but my grandmother on my father's side had really bony arms, and it made me cry, because it was bony and I wasn't used to it. And my other grandmother said to hold me a different way because I would like it better. And my other grandmother did hold me a different way. And I remember not wanting to cry because I didn't want her to feel bad. Then I remember other glimpses of memories, my mom holding me one evening. I remember my dad was playing with me and he threw me up in the air. Unfortunately, he threw me up when I hit the wall and started crying, and he was really upset that he might have hurt me. And I remember several things. I remember learning to walk, that my mom took me outside on the front lawn and stood me up, and I started walking, but I couldn't stop because there was a slight hill, and I went boom and fell. But the biggest thing I remember is when I was about 2 years old, this is about 1957, I was sitting in front of our TV. There was one of these big boxy black and white TVs that only plays 2 or 3 channels. And suddenly I woke up. Suddenly I became aware that I was alive. And I'd been in a kind of trance the whole time, but now I was really there. And I remember other memories about my childhood too. So anyway, this is my story, and I swear it's all true. I have continuous memories through this whole period. That's it. Thanks for listening.